Hey guys, welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. My name is Rob, and last time we placed the Lord Vessel underneath Firelink Shrine. And upon returning to Firelink Shrine from doing some farming, discovered that Big Hat Logan has moved on.
Oh, there you are. Just so you know, Master Logan has left on his own again. It seems that he is still determined to find the famed regal archives in Anor Londo. I intend to search for him. Only before I leave, there is one thing I wish to do. You see, Master Logan has left most of his books. With them, I could teach you Logan's sorcery. You have done much to assist me. Before I leave on this journey, I will teach you all that Logan has to share.
Yeah, so basically, Griggs will not move from here until you buy all of these sorceries from him. And I do mean all of them.
Oh, hello. You made it. Then let us begin. As promised, I shall bequeath Master Logan's sorcery to you.
See, he can now teach you Soul Spear and Homing Soul Mass, among his other sorceries that he could already teach you. Doesn't have anything else, though.
It's not that I'm concerned for Master Logan's welfare. Even in this treacherous land, Logan's skills are unmatched. He is a true hero. No, the reason I seek Logan is, well, it's really my own conceit now, isn't it?
His own conceit. I don't quite understand what he's saying there. I'm sure there's some deeper meaning to that. Because whenever, with the dialogue in this game, when they use a word in a sentence like that that doesn't quite make sense on the surface, there's usually a deeper meaning that you really have to dig for. And I don't quite know what he means, though. Maybe just to prove himself, or who knows? It could be something that simple. Could be more to it than that.
It's not that I'm concerned for even in this No, the reason well, it's really my own conceit now, isn't it?
Conceit. Interesting.
Goodbye then. Do stay safe.
Yeah, once you purchase all of Grig's sorceries, he will move on to Sin's Fortress, only he won't make it out of there. He'll become hollow around, if I'm not mistaken, close to where the big, flights of stairs are, where the big boulder will roll down and everything. He becomes hollow around that point.
There you are.
There we
I'll
go.
be heading down below shortly. There's nothing worthwhile up above. No worries. Venturing is my life. I'm prepared for the worst.
Let me make sure I've got 3 purple moss, at least 3. Yes, okay. So, today I'm actually going to be heading down below as well. Way down below. Below Blighttown, even. And I'm going to show the Valley of the Drakes, which I think is very closely linked to the area I'm going to be exploring today. The Great Hollow, and then Ash Lake. So there may not be any boss in this episode. Just a lot of just exploration and talking about maybe some of the connections between this and that. Not that I'm a lore guru by any means, but it is interesting stuff to talk about. And by all means, if you love to talk about the lore of these games, comment. Spark up a conversation. I'm usually really responsive to comments on my channel. I try to be. It's not like I get hundreds of them or anything, so, the odd comment here and there on a video, it's kind of a treat, honestly. So the Valley of the Drakes. It's a valley, and there's like a ravine that you don't want to fall down. It goes deep down, way deep down, down below even Blighttown, I think. What's that saying about not looking down? Across this rickety bridge here. And I see what appears to be... Oh no, that's over there going up towards the Darkroot Basin. That's not that. Okay. I was going to say, looked like some textures hadn't loaded in yet. So here we have an undead dragon just kind of chilling, taking a nap. You can totally just ignore him. There's a slope there. I didn't even know that slope was there the very first time I played the game. You can get away from him up there if he wakes up. You can get a Soul of a Proud Knight from one of his hands. There's a couple of more corpses here of some other knights that look like they tried to fight him. Can I stand in his open mouth? No. Can't. If you stand, you have to get, like, just barely. You can get a Stora straight sword without waking him up. A Stora straight sword is useful if you're playing the game early as a cleric, because I think the cleric actually starts off with almost enough stats to use it. And then it becomes like a good weapon very early in the game. So a Stora straight sword. Let's have a look at that. 10 strength, 10 dex. Yeah, so you only need to level up dex a couple of times as a cleric. Then a 14 faith requirement, which the cleric begins with, I think. Straight sword of an unknown knight, likely one of Astora's superiors. High quality weapon with a powerful blessing. It's actually the sword that Oscar, or the nameless knight from the Undead Asylum, is using as well. Let's see, is there a way to grab this? Nope, there's not. I'll just do that. Ow. Now you really didn't have to do that. I like to say that I stole the Undead Dragon's teddy bear, and he is not happy at all with me. Yeah, so now he's going to be awake and pissed off for the rest of the game, so might as well do something about it. Oof, that damage though. Yeah, I think I can do better. Actually, where is Quaelag's Fury Sword? There we go. I bet fire damage does great against him. Gotta watch out for that claw though. I cannot believe I just iframed that. Yikes. Yeah, so apparently this Valley of the Drakes was once traversed by some Astora Knights, at least 3 of them. And they all ended up getting killed. Right here in front of this undead dragon, they weren't able to pass by. Whether they were coming up from Blighttown or the Darkroot Basin, maybe. Maybe they were able to get through New Londo. No telling. And where did this undead dragon come from? The dragon who essentially went hollow and then just fell down into the Valley of the Drakes and just stayed here. Ow. Whew. Oh, close there. Oh! Cut it too close. Or you could always just do that. Decided I was tired of dying to the undead dragon. So, yeah. Anyway, go through the Valley of Drakes. And it looks like there are a lot of drakes in this area. But is this called the Valley of Drakes simply because there are drakes here? Or is there maybe more to it than that? I don't know. I can kind of picture a pathway here to Ash Lake where people would join the Dragon Covenant in hopes of becoming drakes themselves. And maybe this was known as the Valley of Drakes before all these drakes were here, because this is the path people would choose to go down and try to join in with the dragons. It's just my speculation. And we get the Brigand set. try and smoothly dodge around these guys. This gate is shut. Let me see if I can get up here without dying. Yeah, there we go. Yep, that's a good way to get them all in one cluster and one-shot them with a great club plunging attack. And that's how you farm dragon scales too. That's how I do it. Alright, and with fall control, get out almost unscathed. Go through this little tunnel here. Yeah, I lit this bonfire during that time. So before I forget, let me go ahead and read a couple of item descriptions here. We got the Dragon Crest Shield. 10 strength requirement, 100% physical damage block, and 85% fire block, which isn't bad at all, but the magic and lightning block are both kind of not great. Shield of a Nameless Knight, likely a high-ranked knight of Astora. One of the enchanted blue shields, the Dragon Crest Shield greatly reduces fire damage. So we got the Crest Shield, Dragon Crest Shield. Yeah. Alright. And you come in here to the forest behind the sealed door, and immediately you're greeted by the forest hunters. Up. Missed that parry. And this dude is a knight with a claymore. And knight's shield instead of the tower shield. Or whatever it's called. It's not the tower shield. Ow. I love that two-handed rolling R1 of the Silver Knight's Sword because no one ever expects it. Alright, that knight does not respawn. The sorcerer unfortunately does. Yeah, sorcery like that sucks in PvP. Unless it's dark sorceries like Dark Bead. Dark Orb can be pretty decent. Soul Spears do a lot of really good damage if you can get them to hit, but they're really easy to dodge. There is a thief slash bandit type of NPC back in here who's really difficult to see. But I know he's here. There he is. Yeah, he's dressed like one of the hollowed thieves from the lower end undead burg. He tends to be fairly passive. Then we got the cleric that has joined in. The cleric is aggressive until she takes damage, and then she loves to run away and heal. You just watched that happen. Without a care in the world. Where is your sense of honor? I guess there's no honor among thieves, as they say. Alright, so there's 2 more NPCs left. Actually 3, now that I think about it. There's another knight that doesn't respawn. There's this bandit up here, who's in the full bandit set. Ow. Parry too early. Trying to do like PvP parrying where you have to kind of preemptively throw out your shield, but it doesn't work that way with the NPCs. There we go. There we go. Took care of him. And there's another 2 deeper in the forest here. Another knight and then an archer who's wearing the hunter set plus Ferris's hat. Yep. Knew if I got close enough, the knight would come up. There we go. Alright, and the NPC wearing Ferris's hat and using Ferris's bow can be pretty annoying. Trying to backstab me? What's the matter with you? This character's using a falchion as well. There we go. AI got a little confused and had an opportunity there to take her out. To get some twin humanities, black bow of Ferris and Ferris's hat. Where is Ferris's bow? There we go. Scaling in dex without ever even upgrading it. But definitely, if you're going to use it, upgrade it for sure. 18 dex requirement. And it has a 65 shot range, which is the longest of any of the regular bows. That's not including the Dragon Slayer great bows and items like that. The preferred black bow of the heroic archer Ferris has a longer range than standard bows, but is more difficult to use. Without proper abilities, results will be underwhelming. And how about that hat? Which I think will be up here with the hunter set, maybe. Yeah, there we go. It's actually not with the hunter set, it's in a random spot. A broad-brimmed hat favored by the archer hero Ferris. Ferris was an accomplished archer, and though he was human, he ranked alongside Hawkeye Goff, one of the 4 knights of Lord Gwyn. His hat is universally popular among children. So whether that NPC was actually Ferris or not, the description is calling Ferris a he. That NPC was obviously female. Is it a mistranslation? Is it confusion on part of, like, people thought that Ferris was a man but actually wasn't? Or was this just an NPC that maybe was related to Ferris in some way, and Ferris's items, his hat, his bow, were passed down to her? I don't know. And also, I didn't read the red tearstone ring. Let me go ahead and read that too while I'm thinking about it. The rare gem called tearstone has the uncanny ability to sense imminent death. This red tearstone from Kareem boosts the attack of its wearer when in danger. The blue tearstone ring is from Katarina, which boosts defense, and from Kareem boosts the attack of its wearer when in danger. Lautrec of Kareem is wearing a red tearstone ring, as well as Oswald of Kareem. If you get in a fight with Oswald and his health gets low, his red tearstone ring will activate on him as well. The Eastern set, which I already have, I'm wearing the Eastern leggings, is gotten down here in Darkroot Basin. This corpse has the Eastern set. And basically I just ran over here, grabbed it, ran towards that wall, which will take you back to the entrance to this forest. It looks like I've killed all or most of the tree demons, so I'm not terribly worried about them. Let me see here. Go ahead and progress through the forest. Talk to Alvina, who will allow me to talk to some other NPCs. Now just look at this thing. Like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Huge mouth.
Is it not so that thou art new? Thou fared well to find me, but cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorius? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say.
So she's telling you a half-truth. The legend of Artorias is indeed a fabrication, but traversing the dark, not so much. Anyway, tell her yes.
Well, indeed, thou art a strange one. Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Alvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes, I believe we would suit thee well.
Yes.
I am very glad. And now thou art one of us. Let us establish a covenant.
Yes.
And here taketh this ring. If thou wearest that ring, it allows for thine summoning. If mine senses reveal intruders, then I will summon thee. Fend them off, sir. I beseech only this. I shall summon others who will, by their honor, work tirelessly with thee. Thou shalt receive great reward, and whatsoever ye shall pillage will be thine own. A true agreement, not so? But thou must heed the golden rule. The clan is thine own family. To thine kinsman forever stay true. Darest not in any attempt to double-cross. Have no doubt, such wretchedness never will we tolerate. Ah, thou dost cometh. How fares ye? My hopes for thee are of the highest. Do not such a hope shatter with foul disproportion.
Alrighty, and I think, yep, there they are. Wearing the entire Eastern set, wielding the Murakumo and the Iron Round Shield. It's none other than Shiva of the
I've heard
East.
all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now, as there's no time to chat in the midst of fighting. Except there is little in the form of rules, you hear. Fight and hunt as you like. Whoever's fastest gets the prey. That's the way we do it. Only, don't forget what Arwina said. Traitors aren't given a second chance, for any reason. That's about it then. Don't worry. It's a good old time, isn't it? Great to have you with us. Good hunting to you.
If you do betray the Forest Hunters Covenant, said that forgiveness isn't given for any reason. That's not true. If you go and absolve your sins with Oswald of Kareem, they'll let you back in.
Don't worry now. You'll be called in soon enough. Hunters with patience score the best kills.
Then if you're looking closely, you see this ninja guy using the Shadow set, a target shield, and I think he's using the Uchi Katana, but it could be the Iaito. I really can't remember. He never says anything.
Ah, did you notice that one? Sharp eyes? He is one of the clan from the east, like myself. Always slinking in the shadows. But he is a tough one. You'll see what I mean.
I will. because eventually I probably will kill both of you,
Don't worry.
but not
Ring.
now.
You'll be called in soon enough. Hunt us with patience.
So anyway, let's have a look at that ring we got from Albina, which you basically you equip it, and anywhere you're at, whether this, whenever this is equipped, you can get summoned to the forest for PvP in the form of a spirit of vengeance. Ring granted to those bound by the Forest Hunter Covenant. Answer Albina's summoning. The white cat Albina speaks a human tongue that has lived since the early age of fire. Excuse me. Albina was a trusted friend of Knight Artorias and the Great Wolf Sith. Basically, she is guarding, well, I wouldn't say Artorias' honor, per se. I think she's just more protecting Sith, for one, and trying to keep anybody from following in Artorias' footsteps to traverse the dark, who, may end up not successfully doing so and becoming dangerous. Very much the way Artorias did. We got the Stone Guardian set just now. Like the Stone Guardian Knights in the forest who use the Twop Sword, basically. Where is it? I know it's down here somewhere. This is like one of the best, like, as far as poise, armor sets you can get early in the game before Havel's set. Moss-covered armor of the Stone Knight, defender of the Darkroot Garden. The Stone Knight is a product of ancient magic. Although the armor is also imbued with magic, it is incredibly heavy. Yeah, no joke, 17.6 units, but look at the poise, 39 on the armor alone. But 47 on Havel's armor, so yeah. And while I'm thinking about it, I haven't read the description on the Silver Knight sword, have I? The Silver Knights of Anor Londo guard the city using this beautifully slender weapon. Its chain attacks, in which the wielder takes great advancing steps and makes use of his body weight, are deadly even in single hits. No doubt about that. So you wander a little deeper into the forest and you see these little mushroom guys. You can kill them. They're not hostile or anything. They'll occasionally drop gold pine resin. And then you've got the big ones here, with scars that look like somebody was stupid enough to try and fight them. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by that thing. They're slow, but they will knock the piss out of you. They also have a good bit of health, and like infinite poise. Well, not infinite, but they have a lot of it. The big ones are way more likely to drop gold pine resin. And after buying the few that you can buy from Domhall of Xena, other than duping them, this is the only way you can get more in the game, by farming them from these guys. I take out these big ones just for the sake of being able to get that treasure chest there without being disturbed. It looks like the little one has decided to join in for a little bit, trying to help the parent here. Whew. There we go. Yeah, he's running for the hills now. And right here we have the Enchanted Ember. This will be, important for when we finally go into Ulasil. There's a big connection here. Ember required for weapon ascension. This enchanted ember, a form of sorcery, is a vestige of the lost land of Ulasil. Ascends +5 magic weapon to enchanted weapon. The sorcerer's enchanted weapon that inflicts magic damage and is boosted by intelligence. Yeah, so if you're running a magic build and want to, do magic damage with your weapon, that's enchanted is good, or just buffing the weapon with crystal magic weapon or something like that. They're both pretty viable. So anyway, that's the most of the forest I'm going to explore today. Now, I'm going to go this pathway down to where I was wanting to go anyway. So I kind of went out of the way a little bit to come do this, but I have my reasons for it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head down into Blight Town. We'll skip the run back real quick since I was so close by anyway.
Show me that ember of yours. Well, I've never heard of a black ember. How about leaving that ember with me? I find it strangely fascinating. Yes. Well, thank you. This ember really is something special. I'm already under its spell. I sense great potential indeed. I'll be seeing you then. Be careful out there.
Alright, and back Blight Town. Alright, so you come down to the bottom of Blight Town. And look who it is.
Hello again. Strange to meet away from the clan and the forest. But while you are here, how about some equipment? I love collecting these things, but I can only keep so many. And you know, you are a friend. I'll sell them cheap.
Interrupting.
We meet again. I have the...
Could you not?
We meet again. I have the equipment, if you have the need.
We can learn the Look Skyward gesture. And he sells some rare weapons like the Flamberge, which is dropped by the Serpent Men, the Stone Greatsword, Demon Great Machete, which the Capra Demon uses, Shotel, Uchi Katana, Washing Pole, and Demon's Great Axe, Claws, Demon Spear, and Eastwood Grain Ring, which slows loss of weapon durability. If a weapon durability loss were a huge deal in this game, and if you had more ring slots, I could see this being useful for maybe katanas or crystal-infused weapons, but I've never actually used it. The special ring crafted in the Eastern Land is made out of gold, but with a wood grain crest on its surface. The ring slows the loss of weapon durability, and is particularly useful to bearers of delicate swords crafted in the East. Alright, the Flamberge, 16 strength, 14 dex. Great for a min-max type of build that uses chaos or lightning weapons. This great sword, with an undulating blade, is the choice weapon of the slithering serpent men of Sen's Fortress. This weapon is designed to flay the skin and causes heavy bleeding. I've read the Stone Greatsword, Demon's Great Machete. This is a massive weapon that has 18 units of weight, 40 strength requirement, but is very, very strong if you have the 40 strength to use it. The lesser Capra demons use these great swords in pairs. The blade is cast iron and hooked. The sword is imbued with no particular magic, but for those who have the strength, its great weight will smash foes mercilessly. Shotel, the Uchi Katana, 14 strength, 14 dex, 300 bleed build up. Uchi Katana's great. Katana forged in an eastern land, known for its brisk slashing motions. The Uchi Katana cuts beautifully and causes bleeding, but its blade is easily nicked. I'll actually be buying this so that I don't have to kill the undead merchant to get his. Katana forged in an eastern land, very unusual specimen with a long blade. The blade is extremely long, but as a result, quite easily broken. Yeah, this thing has got some reach. It's 8 units of weight, 20 strength requirement, and 16 dex. Yeah, it's not very stat efficient because it doesn't scale very well. D scaling in strength and dex. So it's probably best to make this one chaos, but you can get better weapons using the chaos infusion than the washing pole. But I mean, hey, some people like to use this with base stats and just buff it with Dark Moon Blade or something like that, and it's actually really effective that way. The Demon's Great Axe, which is used by the Taurus Demon. A scaling in strength, 46 strength requirement to one-hand it, and it's 22 units of weight. Carved from the bones of fellow demons, wielded by the lesser Taurus demons. This axe is imbued with no special power, but can merrily beat foes to a pulp, providing you have the strength to wield it. No doubt. It is the single, highest attack rating weapon in the game if you have the stats for it. But it's not very wieldy. It's not very practical. It's kind of fun to use. Claws. 6 strength, 14 dex, does bleed damage, B scaling in dex, 1 unit of weight. A weapon formed by 3 sharp claws. Attacks cause bleeding, and the wounds inflicted are not easily mended. Preferred weapon of the spooks of an eastern land. Then the Demon Spear. Carved from the bones of fellow demons, wielded by the slim, lesser Batwing demons. The weapon of these Chaos Demons wandering in Orlando are different from those of other Chaos Demons and are imbued with lightning. C scaling in strength and dex. 12 strength, 10 dex requirement. Very low stat requirements. Doesn't scale great, but it's a excellent finisher in PvP because it's a very long-reaching spear. I'm actually going to buy one of these. And that'll do.
I see. You have a sharp eye for trinkets. Suits me fine. I'll be seeing you.
Alrighty. Of course, his little friend, the ninja, is back here. Still not saying anything. And they pretty much stay here for the rest of the game. Unless you fight them, and think that they might reappear in Darkroot Forest. Put on the rusted iron ring so I can move at regular speed down here. Alright. It's taking a nap standing up. I don't think I could do that.
Oh ho! Excuse me, I was so absorbed in thought I just drifted away. You see, I'm actually in a bit of a fit. I've made it this far, but I'm short on antidote moss for the trip back. By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss?
It's almost as if he was waiting for us to show up and come to his rescue.
Fantastic. Thank you. A saint you are. This Knight of Katarina expresses his deepest gratitude. I shall not forget this. Please, take this, a symbol of my appreciation.
And then he gives us his pierced shield.
Our fates do seem entwined, don't they? Perhaps this, too, is the will of Lord Gwyn.
Yeah. Saying that as an excuse not to act.
Poison swamp, like quicksand in there.
Yeah. Just me voicing my disdain for this character. So we get the Pierce Shield. 11 strength, 14 dex requirement. It does not have 100% physical block. And it doesn't parry because it's a thrusting weapon. Shield of certain Knights of Katarina, used in attacks with a large protrusion in center, can be used as a thrust weapon. Yeah, but it's not great for that purpose. There we go. Yikes. There we are. Okay. Getting a few Titanite shards here and there. Sigmire may have been looking for the way to, whatchamacallit, Ash Lake. I think that's where he originally was trying to get to, but he wasn't able to find it down here. Because from this area, the next place you'll find him, I believe, is Lost Isolate. So he's trying to go down lower into Ash Lake. But he wasn't able to discover it on his own. And then he kind of, got scared of the poison, stood there waiting for somebody to come rescue him. And yeah. So anyway, the Great Hollow is inside this tree. And it's like a network of vines and roots and branches and stuff. It can be helpful to have fall control down here. Can be. Of course, if you fall and you know the fall is long enough, doesn't matter if you have fall control on. If it would kill you anyway, then fall control won't protect you. Fall control will only protect you if the fall would have done damage without killing you. Alright, but let's look around at some of these roots. Get a titanite chunk there. There's all kinds of titanite laying around in this area. There's a lot of crystal lizards you can get, and if you manage to kill all of them, I think the final one will give you a titanite slab or something like that, but usually they're too big a pain in the butt to get to for me to worry that much about getting them, so I usually just skip them. We got some basilisks down here. Yikes. I don't want to be cursed. I'd rather not be cursed. I'd rather you die. There we go. Yeah, having humanity in your counter up there to the top left greatly increases your curse resistance, so good to have. There's also a curse ring you can get in New Londo if you want to go that way. Let's see here. I kind of want that item. I don't remember what type of titanite chunk it is. I think it's either a blue or a white one. Things that I won't use, so I'm not even sure why I want to get it. I just do, I guess. Oh, it's a red chunk. Okay, yeah, that was worth getting. In case I decide to make any chaos weapons. Which I haven't decided if I'm going to, like, keep working on this build and eventually take it into PvP. I might do, like, a quality build or something with it. With just that little dab of magic. For, you know, kicks and giggles, as I say. Well, there are two titanite lizards here. Look at there. 2 twinkling titanite, 1 white titanite chunk. And like I said, there is a lot of them that can be gotten down here. You just have to quit out and keep trying to get them. Keep spawning them in and all that. There's a ladder that I could take down. I don't really want to go that route because there's also... Oh, and then the game is going to be like this. Hang on. Maybe I can jump up over that. Nope. Why are you like this, Dark Souls? Watch, I'm going to end up dying. Trying to get back up here. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I want to drop down to that branch that's wrapping around the tree in the center. Huh. Go ahead and cast ball control. Okay, as I'm looking down, I can see my shadow on that branch below, so that means I'm safe to drop on it. Got another white titanite chunk. Those are, of course, for divine and occult weapons. Drop down here. And then here. What is this one? A blue titanite chunk. Yeah, that ladder would have taken me where I ultimately want to go, but there's a red titanite chunk that I want to get up here. Where is the next? I always forget where I have to drop down from here. Okay, yeah, it's going to be down here. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's it right there. That's what I want to get. Let me see. Excellent. Alright, cool. I've already got eager fans waiting for my arrival. Go ahead and plunge and attack that. These basilisks, like the ones in the depths, will occasionally drop Eyes of Death. So if you wanted to farm Eyes of Death for any reason, there you go. There are some holes that you need to be careful not to fall down because you can take a considerable amount of damage. There's a ladder connected to this one. Yikes. Stop breathing your tar on me. Keep your cigarette breath to yourself, thank you very much. Alright, nice. So you get down here and there's this route that leads down. And you start seeing some giant mushrooms as you go down. Kind of interesting. In the forest, we were just interacting with some mushrooms. Let's see here. I'm going to drop down to this one. Go. Oh, look at there. Right on cue. It's another regular titanite chunk. Thought it was. Yeah, the mushrooms down here are a little bit more aggressive. Don't worry, it's not just the small ones either. There are some big ones down here too. They're probably all going to try and gank me now that I've killed one of them. Oh! Ouch. Nah, lovely. Yep, I got ganked by the mushroom squad. Some dudes are quick. Even the big ones are quick. Alright, let me get away from you guys here. There we go. Okay. They're not going to follow me in here, thankfully. I love how you can mess with the sound right there. I love this area of the game atmospherically. And very few areas in Dark Souls have their own music, so once you come down here, you know you found a special place. Light this bonfire up. And without the Lord Vessel, you would have to climb back up the Great Hollow in order to get out. So it's recommended that you wait until you have the Lord Vessel before you try and come to this area. So what's here? There's a lot of dragon scales. There's a Hydra. But I'm probably not going to engage this part because I actually kind of want to wrap up this particular episode. It's been going on for a while. And there's a lot I'm going to have to edit down. But yeah, there's a Hydra down here. Does not respawn. Ow. Gonna try running again, except this one will chase you through the level, funnily enough. Just keep on moving. Seek refuge inside this giant log here. And get a dragon scale off of a corpse. It's interesting, everything you pillage in this game is pillaged from a corpse. Let's see if he'll do it. No, not yet. He will eventually. There's a gigantic skull down here. Whoop. There he goes. Whoa. Yeah, that's something, isn't it? Got a new clam enemy down here. Ow. Get myself killed. There's two of them. Anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about that skull as I go. It's speculated that that may be the skull of the blacksmith god that's talked about in the game with the Titanite demons and all that. Since they're all headless, it's speculated that maybe he was beheaded at some point. Maybe he betrayed the gods and went along with the nameless king, Gwen's firstborn, and was punished for it. Maybe he came down here to seek communion with the dragons himself. Alright, so I want to come this way. There's a miracle in here I want to get. It's got some interesting lore on it. Oh, there we go. Eye of Death. Look at there. I should be safe from the Hydra in here. Let's see. How do I drop down to there? I forget. Get out of here. Stupid. That big mushroom dude. I'm gonna go ahead and deal with him. Or he'll deal with me. Screw the Dragon Covenant. I want to turn into this buff-ass mushroom. That's what I want. We need a Mushroom Covenant. There we go. Yeah, just imagine instead of the dragon head and the dragon torso, you get the mushroom head and the mushroom torso. That would be pretty funny. Let's see, there's a place you can drop down out here that will lead to that miracle up there. Let me see here. I think it's out this way. I just have to be careful because that Hydra's out there. And I think he's hell-bent on killing me. I could be wrong about that. I thought there was a place you dropped down out here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Very carefully drop down to the spot. There we go. Miracle. Great magic barrier. Let's have a look at that. Miracle of Bishop Havel the Rock. Cover body and powerful defensive magic coating. Havel the Rock, an old battlefield compatriot of Lord Gwyn, was the sworn enemy of Seek the Scaleless. He despised magic and made certain to devise means of counteraction. So this is where it refers to Havel the Rock as a bishop, a religious leader, high up in the religious hierarchy of, presumably, the Way of White. So what is it doing on a corpse down here? Could this possibly be the real Havel? I think it's possible. I kind of like that theory, that the one locked in the tower is not the real Havel, but that the real Havel came down here seeking communion with the dragons in an effort to combat Seek, who had betrayed them. Wisely following in the footsteps of the Nameless King, who realized that the dragons were not their enemies. Because in the beginning, it never says what provoked the attack. The battle between the dragons and the gods, like why they went after them. Never said it was in retaliation or anything like that. I think it was out of fear and out of Gwen's own lust for power. his covetousness to be the best, to be at the top of the food chain. And I think he was willing to do whatever it would take to cement himself as the king and god of all of Lordran and the surrounding kingdoms. And in the end, it cost him. I think his son, who we now know as the Nameless King, saw the folly in this, realized that the dragons were nothing to be afraid of. And we're definitely not an enemy. But all of the ancient dragons were wiped out, weren't they? I mean, could have swore we got that from the beginning of the game. But what is this creature? Looks pretty ancient to me. Doesn't look like the other dragons. Pray to the everlasting dragons. You get the dragon headstone and the dragon eye. You can offer dragon scales to the everlasting dragon to eventually get the dragon torso. Of course, we know that cutting off a dragon's tail usually reveals a weapon that you can use. Fortunately, this being an ancient everlasting dragon, doesn't even care that you cut its tail off. Doesn't care at all. Where is it? There we go. The Dragon Great Sword. 50 strength, 10 dex to wield it one-handed. No scaling. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tail of the stone dragon of Ash Lake, descendant of the ancient dragons. Its great mystical power will be unleashed when held with both hands. Find a player who has acquired a dragon scale and invade that player's world to pillage it. An art of the transcendent apostles who pray to the ancient dragons. To be alive is to be vulnerable, and the fiery gods are no exception. The apostles seek another plane of existence, which transcends life. Stone imbued with the power of the dragons, right of apostles of the ancient dragons. Gain head of dragon, and emit dragon breath. The dragon apostles seek transcendence of life itself, attainable by transformation into an ancient dragon. This right is only one step, but it cannot be reversed until death. So we learn from the opening cutscene that the dragons, the ancient dragons, before the first flame, they lived in a state of existence of neither being alive or dead. The dragon apostles seek to reattain this existence. And I guess in some way, abolish the Age of Fire and allow the coming of the Age of Dark. So you could say they have that in common with the Dark Wraiths. They just have different reasons, I guess, for wanting to do what they do. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with more Dark Souls Remastered. And until then, y'all take care.